Welcome, guys, to SW6 Live and our review of our first game in the Champions League for some time, and a 6-0 win against Qarabag. And on the panel tonight is Mo. Good evening, Mo.
Good evening to you as well, Tony. I'm absolutely ecstatic about this result last night. It was a great game. Obviously, so many goals for us to even. We've at some point we were missing goals. It was so good, and it feels good to be able to discuss the game. But yeah, let's get the review underway, mate.
Absolutely, mate. Well, Champions League is back. I don't know about you, mate, but I absolutely adore the Champions League. Everything about it, the music, the lights, just the whole ambience, even the feeling walking up to the stadium is different. The way the stadium's dressed. I mean, what does the Champions League mean to you? It's been 18 months since our last appearance, and as we all know what happened that night, but it's back. What does it mean to you, buddy?
Mate, where do I begin? Champions League is the elite competition, mate. As I say it always anytime I speak about the competition, it's a competition that means so much to me because I think growing up as a Chelsea fan, like obviously one of the biggest things I remember in my memories is just the fact that we've always fought in this competition, and like when we've always fought in this competition, I've always looked forward more than anything, and I've always just looked forward to Champions League games because it's always being able to see what we can do against and bigger oppositions, sometimes even oppositions that are just obviously from another country, and seeing different philosophies come together and seeing how teams just obviously either eliminate each other, but also just how teams kind of form rivalries that are known. Obviously, things like Barcelona is a rivalry that stands out to me. We've faced them so many times. Some we've won, some we've lost, some unfairly lost. The rivalry with Liverpool kind of went to another level after that ghost goal. There's so many different types of memories I've got, and it's obviously that Didier Drogba goal was something I will never forget, and being able to win at Munich. And it's a competition that regardless of what happens, I think it's just you want to be in it. You want to be able to actually say, I want to test myself against the top teams. The place to do it is in the Champions League, so it means a lot to me.
Absolutely. Well, the lineup then, buddy, we kind of got it all wrong, really, didn't we? Because I think we fully expected it to be slightly stronger, regardless of the opposition. We just thought it was sort of first game back after a long time, etc.
Yeah.
5 changes, obviously, Antonio Conte made. Let's look at the side then, buddy. Obviously, Thibaut Courtois in goal. Gary Cahill back after a 3-match ban in the back three with Christensen and Azpilicueta. So no Rudiger or Luiz. And with regards to holding midfield, obviously Cesc Fabregas and N'Golo Kante. Wingbacks Marcos Alonso and Zappacosta. No Victor Moses. Pedro left, William right, and of course up front Michy Batshuayi. Any surprises there, mate? That it wasn't stronger, and with that in mind, was it the right decision by Antonio Conte with regards to Arsenal coming up at the weekend?
Well, first of all, to answer the last question you asked, was it the right call? Well, definitely the right call. I mean, we win 6-0 in a game that pretty much, and I think you have any stronger lineup or a more deadly lineup, I should say, in our case. And we could have definitely scored more than 6. But I think 6 with the lineup that we had was it just shows how much that Antonio Conte just got this completely right, in my opinion. And I think one of the other positive things that I've got to be able to mention here is the fact that Antonio Conte after the match was so positive in saying this match is a representation of him showing trust in his squad. And to him, it was about rotating and actually saying to his players, I trust you guys all. I trust you all to do a great job. And it's not always about saving plays necessarily, but it's about being able to actually trust my players to go do a job. And I think their trust was well earned by them, because at the end of the day, they went into this match getting 6 goals, and they could have gone far more. I think what was very surprising more than anything is I didn't expect that many changes. I really didn't. I mean, when you look back through our history, I think with a lot of the managers that we've had, and they don't tend to take the type of risks that Antonio Conte did last night. They don't tend to be quite adventurous and say, okay, we're facing this type of side. We can't afford to actually make 5-6 changes if we wanted to. And Antonio Conte making that change, I think, was one, a change for us, because it's a great thing for us to see, being able to have Christensen actually in the lineup, being able to see Gary Cahill back in the lineup, being able to see Batshuayi be given a chance, being able to see Zappacosta being actually given a full debut. And I think it's just a situation where you think to yourself, well, I'm glad that the manager is so positive in not being able to rotate the squad, but also not make a fuss about it and say, you know what, I trust my players to go do a job. And for me, that's always going to be a positive thing within this. And I remember like moments when Mourinho, obviously in the past, had been put in some sort of predicament where he had to face, like, say, Liverpool in the league. And I think that's the one I can remember last. He had to face Liverpool in the league, and then we had a Champions League game coming up against PSG, if I remember correctly. And I think I remember that very vividly, because I think it's something that Mourinho made a big point about, saying that I'm now forced to play this type of players because, there's not enough time for me to have the players that I want on the pitch, and we've got a game less than 48 hours, so on and so forth. I mean, and Antonio Conte just comes into this and doing it. I feel like it's just such a positive sign. And even more so, he's not known to be doing this. He's not known as a manager to be rotating the squad the way he did last night. And I think that is a big positive sign as well, because that probably means that he trusts not only these players, but he actually has worked with these players enough to be able to actually realize where he can make the changes, where he can afford to take risks. And I think that just sets us in good for the forthcoming matches in the league, because as we both have spoken about fixtures, there are some tough games we've got after being able to play in the Champions League. We've got games against either Man United and some other bigger sides, and I'm just like, well, in that case, then wow, we need to be able to rotate the squad. And that's why I think we're always screaming about the whole, and we need a squad that is actually strong enough here, so that we have a depth in the squad and we can rotate without feeling that the squad has been weakened so massively. And I think that's what that showed us last night. 6-0, I think, was a fair result, and I think it was the right call by Antonio Conte.
There's 7 games in 21 days, so you can kind of half understand it. And of course, the opposition on Sunday, it's important that we obviously keep our league form going.
Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, someone put in the comments there, I'm not quite sure who, but had we had our full team out, our first 11, if you like, it's quite possible we could have got double figures. If you bear in mind that Willian hit the bar as well, that would have been 7.
Yeah.
And I can actually see Atletico playing a full team and probably getting doubles, getting double figures. But there you go. Let's look at the first half then, mate. Only 5 minutes in on the clock, and lovely little layoff from Willian. And Pedro curls one in from 20 yards out. What a goal that was. What a start. And it kind of set the tone, really, didn't it? I think the crowd were kind of thinking, here we go. But a beautiful start, a beautiful goal, and the way he kept the ball down, but it just curled it. Beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was a magnificent strike, and I think there's not many keepers in the world that would be able to save that. But I do feel quite bad for Qarabag, because 5 minutes in and you're losing 1-0 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, it can only go downhill from there. And it was a beautiful shot, and I think obviously the Willian layoff was also perfectly weighted for Pedro to just take that advantage. But to be in the lead within 5 minutes, I think that already showed that this game was going to be headed in one direction. There was not going to be any sort of upset, so on and so forth. So yeah, great goal, great start to the game in 5 minutes.
And then, of course, it took us 25 minutes to get number 2, where it was almost half frustrating. We were allowing them to have the ball, weren't we? There was a few little errors, almost overplaying it at times. But what a goal that was. Zappacosta, what an absolute strike. But of course, the shine's been taken off it now, because he's actually admitted that it wasn't a strike, it was a cross.
Mate.
But I mean, it was just some run, wasn't it? He went on this incredible run, this 50-yard run. Yeah. He just bulleted down, and you just thought, well, what's he going to do now? And it was like, what was it going? Oh my God. Oh my, it's one of them moments.
Mate,
what a strike, mate. What a strike.
Caught us all by surprise, obviously, because you saw him make that run, and you're thinking, yeah, he's definitely going to put it in the box, make some runs, and the next moment you're looking at the towards Zappacosta again, you're thinking, wait, he's taking a shot, bam, it's back of the net. What the hell just happened? And I think it's great that firstly he's been so honest about it and just said, look, I was trying to go for a cross. I mean, can you imagine if someone tried to header that shot? Like, I feel like the person would more than likely would have got knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy about it? I think we said. I mean, I don't know if you guys out there have seen the vlog, but we did a halftime sort of little sort of it's reviewing the half really, and we said at the time, didn't we? It's not like we're playing fantastic right now, and also the fact that there was 2 strikes there that would have gone in and beaten anyone. You know, so it didn't. It was irrespective of who we were actually playing against. It was just 2 fantastic goals. You know.
Yeah.
But we're absolutely shocked with that one. And I believe Thibaut Courtois got an assist.
He did. You know what? I completely missed that because when it happened, I think we're so all shocked by Zappacosta's like debut goal there. I completely forgot. No one else touched that ball. It was straight from Courtois, straight to Zappacosta, and Zappacosta made the run, took that shot in. And I think I only noticed when I saw Courtois' Instagram post saying happy with the assist, and I thought, oh mate, cheeky one that.
Yeah, he's the first goalkeeper to get an assist since Fraser Foster for Celtic against Barcelona 2012.
Madness. My goodness, it took a whole 5 years for that to happen again.
Yeah, absolutely, like, you know, but absolutely madness goal that was, and also another little stat for you, that was the 100th Italian player to score a goal in the Champions League.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Well, I did.
I know that. I certainly didn't.
Well, it was 2-0 obviously at the break, and we expected more goals. And 10 minutes into the second half, we go 3-0 up. Azpilicueta, he heads in from a Cesc Fabregas cross. And,
that's the goal we missed.
Well, this was the madness of it, right? Because at that stage, it started to absolutely, if anyone was there, you'd know, lash down the rain. And I was sitting there thinking, right, all I've got on right now is just my own shirt, yeah? And I'm thinking, we're destroyed here. And it's weird because the way they stand, the cantilever sort of rolls over, doesn't it? If the wind catches it as well, the rain comes in at you, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is going to be great, you know. But it was one of them moments.
What was funny was you showing up just with your Chelsea top, and I'm thinking, mate, that's way too trusting of the weather, mate.
Oh, do you know what I did, mate? I swear to God, right? I had my I had a hoodie, right? You know, sort of and I was sitting there, I said, oh, I'm really hot, you know. I was like, what do I take it or what? And she said, just take it. And I said, oh, I don't know. I said, you know, that's solid. Do you know what I mean? And I actually took it, and then because I booked a cab, like, you know, take me to the station. I took it and I went to the cab and I went, hold on a minute, mate. And I went back and I said, yeah, babes, I don't want it.
Oh wow! You went as far as the cab and then returned it.
126 quid later. Do you know what I mean?
Oh God!
Of having to replace something just to keep warm. But there you go. That's another story which we'll tell you a little bit about a bit later. But 3-0 up, and you are right. We missed it completely because if you go to Stamford Bridge, you'll know. You know them games like where all 4 sides are trying to kind of get involved. It always starts with the Matthew Harding, and it's like Shedden gives song, Shedden gives song. Shedden kicks up, right? It's carefree, and then everyone joins in, don't they? You know, and it's good. I like that because you get all 4 sides joining at that same time. Well, of course, it cut our bit, didn't it? The West Stand.
Yeah.
And there weren't too many bods standing up, was there? So it was West Stand gives some. So we kind of done our little bit. We were looking over that way. Next thing, goal, wasn't it? I said, what happened there, mate? But yeah, so we missed that one, didn't we, buddy? But that was Cesc Fabregas, 46 assists, mate.
Mate, he's on it. He's on it. I generally feel like this season, I want to see how many assists he can get for us because I don't see him being out of the lineup yet. Last season, if I'm correct, he got 11 and assists for us, and that's with part-time playing pretty much. He was a part-time player for us at that point, which is. I mean, it's ludicrous to say that Fabregas was a part-time player for us last season, but I guess it shows you what we were going with last year. Now, this season, I think Fabregas is going to be, one, trusted far more often. But number two, I think Fabregas has improved a lot of his game in terms of his defensive abilities. Now, with his defensive abilities, can he get as many assists as he was getting before? And I think this is probably the start of seeing how long can he go on an assist run for. And obviously, he's gone a goal so far as well for us. Obviously, and against, if I'm correct, Everton. Yes, he did. Yeah, it was against Everton. So I can see only good things for Fabregas going forward. But yeah, it was a great assist. And as the Zappacosta getting on the score sheet, mate, I feel like I can't criticize the guy anymore. Every time I try to do any sort of criticism, he either assists or scores a goal. But yeah, it was a great header there, and being able to see the extended highlights of it, that's actually when I got to see the goal. Funny that we missed it, even though we were in the stadium.
Yeah, I've not actually got around to doing it because obviously, as you know what happened, the thing with Champions League nights and all night games at Stamford Bridge is because I live in Peterborough. Normally we'd sort of do bits and pieces after the game, and we either filming something or doing something or whatever. And anyway, you can't even get into Fulham Broadway because it's chocker. There's only one entrance, as people know. And so it's one of them situations where, and I know some people from Peterborough that always leave 20 minutes from the end of the night games.
Mm.
You know that, to catch the 11:05 train that goes to Leeds, the fast train. Now, so of course you're in Peterborough by about 20 to midnight. So you get back at still late, but a reasonable time, yeah. Of course, I never get on that train. So my next train is half 12, which means I'm not getting this the chugger that stops everywhere. It's the one that you just don't want to be on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get in around about 2:25, and then of course I've got to go work next morning. So it's been an absolute nightmare for me. So I've not even had a chance to see the goals. So it's all in the memory bank, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Yeah, 46 assists, mate, since you joined us in 2014. Okay, so then Antonio Conte then started to bring on a few subs. Pedro comes off, standing ovation for him. For Eden Hazard, 58 minutes, and of course N'Golo Kante for Bakayoko on 63. Do you think that was an indication of the team is most likely to pick against Arsenal? The fact that Willian stayed on the park, maybe perhaps he's going to go with Pedro and Hazard, maybe. I don't know, mate. What do you think?
I mean, I can't fully say that. I think it did surprise us both. We were speaking about it at the end of the game, the fact that both Fabregas and Willian got full 90 minutes in this match. And I was expecting them to be taken off. Fabregas, not as much of a surprise, because I think when you don't have Danny Drinkwater, it just simply means there isn't anyone else to replace him in that center of the park. I think Willian getting the full 90 minutes was definitely a surprise. And it might be just a little bit of an indication to say that Willian might not be starting against Arsenal. I do think that Willian, it's Willian's a player that I think sometimes he doesn't frustrate me. I struggle with being able to predict when he's going to have a good game. There are moments when you think the guy is just untouchable. He has to be in the first team. And there are moments when you're like, you can see why sometimes he comes on from the bench. And I think last night he seemed to be doing really, really well, but then his end product was missing. Last night
he got man of the match, though, didn't
he? He did.
Did he get man of the match? Yeah.
He got man of the match. But like, again, to me, it's the same issue that he's had in the past, where he's so great on the ball and being able to do a lot of stuff, but then when you don't have an end product, that's going to be always a criticism for you. And I think Pedro, that's the difference between Pedro and Willian, is the fact that Pedro, I think, when he does get a good opportunity at a goal, the guy doesn't hesitate to take shots. When he takes a shot, he usually scores a stunner.
Yeah, I think, right, with the difference between the two players, you are right, Pedro will have a dig, yeah. Whereas Willian sometimes, and it's hard to criticise someone that's so, he was good last night. He is a good player, and you know, let's be honest, you're always going to get 8 out of 10 out of Willian, more often than not. And every now and again, he will do a 9 or perhaps even a 10. But what he tends to do sometimes, right, is he checks onto his other foot, doesn't he? Just when you think he's going to unleash, he checks onto his other foot to try and get a better angle, and you just think, take a stab, I know where you're coming from, right, you know, but
it's just a little bit frustrating because I generally feel like he's capable of getting at least 10 to 15 goals per season. He is such a capable player. He gets pass plays easily. And Daniel, you're absolutely right. He's been doing a lot more direct runs at the defense lately. And I've
Yeah.
noticed that as well. But the fact of the matter is he still has the same issue as before, which is you're not taking shots. Stop. Like, just take shots. Because I genuinely believe him taking shots is what's going to get him the goals and the recognition that he deserves. But at the moment, he's being so held back by not being able to actually go into games. He'll put on some outstanding performances, but then be lacking in being able to say he's got a goal from the game, or he's got an assist, or he's got this, or he's got that. And for me, Willian is a great player. I love the guy. And in fact, I'm wearing his shirt right now. And there's a reason for it. I love the guy. But I really, really believe that he's capable of scoring more goals. And I want him to, but he just needs to take more shots.
Well, he smashed the bar yesterday, didn't he, as well?
Oh, mate, that ball.
Unleashed. Rattled, didn't it? He really, you could hear it, couldn't
It's
you? From
still
where we were
rattling
sitting
right
there.
now. That's as far as I'm concerned. That was a flipping hard shot.
So Bakayoko comes on, and obviously through his introduction, he gets his goal, and we go 4 up. Score sheet. Just looks an absolute class act, doesn't he? Ray sort of glides, you know. I like players when when they're tall and the heads are held high, you know.
Yeah.
And they just know what they do. I just like that style, you know. And I just think he's the real deal. I really do.
It's
I really
the
do.
difference. He brings this physical aspect to our team that I think we've been missing for a while. And everyone's talking about Nemanja Matic leaving, Nemanja Matic this, Nemanja Matic that. We had Nemanja Matic in our team, and we were still physically weak in games. Now you have Bakayoko in our team, and suddenly I feel like in a lot of games will be a physical dominating side, not because everyone in our team is physically dominant, but because Bakayoko's physical attributes I think they'd exceed quite a lot of Premier League players, and I genuinely can't wait to see him just get more used to the Premier League. At the moment, he seems to be a bit rash in his tackling and in him trying to grab players or him trying to do certain little things. But once he gets the whole of that, I genuinely can't wait to see what this guy does. But him getting his goal at Stamford Bridge, what a player he is. I
just want to say, actually, I just see out there in the chat there, and by the way, Samuel Leonard, I think I can see there, says back at the start versus Arsenal. So it's going back to my original point about the players coming off, but the players coming on for them cameo roles. Is it going to be Bakayoko, Kante? Is it going to be Hazard, Pedro? That's my kind of thought process behind it. I just want to say, though, out there, I just see out there, I'm sure you do too.
Oh my days, yes, I do.
Yeah, Alex Bat. Alex, great. Do you know, I sent him a little message. I said, mate, it'd be great to have you back on. He says, mate, you know, he's so busy now. Obviously, he was part of the background. It was great when he was on the streams back in the day. And it was such an intelligent man. Do you know what I mean? And he's got this great booming voice in it that you just think, wow, you know, he really knows his stuff, really knows his football. And of course, he's gone on to further his career, you know, with his writing and journalism and his football editing. It's just great, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? And he said, Tone, do you know what? If I can, I will. So don't think about it too long, Alex. We could do with you coming up on the streams. Anyone you want, mate. You know, absolute class, isn't he? You know?
Absolute class, mate.
So nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you in the thing. Okay. Well, as the game sort of wore on, I suppose because, you know, there's going to be more gaps, wouldn't there? Because they're not going to keep up the effort for it, and more chances appeared, and we got a 5th and 6th goal from Michy Batshuayi. Now, I want to talk about Michy Batshuayi. Now, I know you're very critical of him, and I must admit, before yesterday's game, I used to think, I think he's been a bit harsh, because, you know, we all love Michy. You know what I mean? He got the goal at West Brom, and you know, he's got an eye for goal. He's a good player, you know. Yeah. But his hold-up play, right? I never really. So I took throughout the course of last night. I thought, right, I'm going to really keep an eye on him. Do you know what I mean? I thought he was poor, you know, holding on to the ball, wasn't he? You know, great to see him get goals because it's all about confidence, football, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And great to see him, you know, when he was always trying to try and get the ball back when he was losing it.
Yeah.
But the problem was he lost it more often than not, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Michy Batshuayi, mate. Great to see him get the goals, obviously, yeah?
Yeah, no. I'm going to start with that. And I said this last night as well. I'm glad that Michy's got, and obviously the fifth goal. The sixth goal was awarded as an own goal, and afterwards. Now, the thing is with Michy for me is it's looking at what type of strikers Chelsea require, and we require a player that can do a hold-up play. We require a player that can work hard. We require a player that is able to make his team play. At the moment, when he's in the team, he shuts down our play because when we get the ball towards him, as soon as we give him the ball, as soon as that happens, guess what happens? The guy loses the ball because it's like his physical aspect of the game isn't quite sure, and it's almost like he has doubts
and
in
and
himself.
and 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 the players that are going at that time with it,
Yeah,
he's holding it. The players go, right, okay. At that point, it's like a double check, isn't it? You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, whoa, okay, we've got to get behind the play again. So
Mate,
go on, mate. Sorry.
it's very difficult to not be critical of him, but I do it with absolute genuine love and care for the guy, and I want him to do well. But at the moment, there's something about him that is just so off. When it comes to his hold-up play, it's almost he's a non-starter. Like I would rather start with Eden Hazard playing as a false nine or someone else than start with him because that's how much he's affecting our play because he can't hold on to the ball. All he has to do as well is already pick a pass as soon as someone passes towards him or crosses towards him. Hold up play is simple. It's very simple. The simpler it is, the better. The thing is with him, he tries to have these fancy touches at times that just irritates you because you think, mate, you don't have that much time, you don't have that much space. When you do, I get it, but on most occasions you won't. So make sure that the one thing that you do is actually, bam, you get the ball, you distribute well so that you can get the ball back and then finish off a chance. He keeps on basically messing it up. And I think the problem with him is, I've always said, I think he's a great scorer. When he's in front of the goal and you give him the ball and you tell him to place it somewhere, he's absolutely fantastic at that. This aspect is the one thing that will stop him from becoming a legend at Chelsea, from becoming a first-team choice at Chelsea. He will be stopped by this fact alone. Even being a backup is going to become difficult for him at this stage if he can't sort this aspect of his game out. And as harsh as it sounds, I genuinely feel like this is where, at the moment, Antonio Conte has a point about why he was looking for other strikers, because it shows that this guy can't deliver what Antonio Conte is looking for, and it's almost very frustrating. Do you know what it reminds me of, Tony? It just slightly differently. It reminds me of Fernando Torres, with the difference being with Fernando Torres was trying his heart out to try and get on the score sheet and work hard and he was being asked to do stuff he was not being used to. I know obviously with Batshuayi that's not the case. The thing is he is more adapted than Fernando Torres was to our style of play. The problem is I think sometimes he's just trying too hard and trying to do fancy skills, and if he keeps his game simple, he'll reap the rewards later. But he needs to understand that hold-up play has to be fixed, and it has to be fixed ASAP. I know that last night, as soon as he scored, I said this is going to overshadow the fact that his performance has not been good enough, in my opinion. And I hope it doesn't, because he needs to be criticized because if we can't criticize him, imagine how others will criticize him. That's the way I look at it, and I want him to do well. So, mate, he needs to improve. I'm glad he got the goal. I'm glad his confidence is going to get a little bit of a boost, but he needs to work even harder now to try and work on this and hold up play, because that's what's messing him up more than anything.
I'll tell you what, it's a great shout out there. Daniel Sheldrake, I would call back Tammy Abraham. It's a great shout, isn't it?
And Tammy, I mean,
when
watching
Tammy. When
Tammy.
you think, go on.
I'm watching Tammy at the moment, and Tammy for me he's a good player. I can see him as a very good prospect, and I think the biggest problem Tammy would have in our team is that we play without the ball at times too much, and he does worse when he doesn't have too much of that ball. And I feel like at the moment when he's at Swansea, this is the best team where you can go for a team where they would hardly have possessions in games, and if they do, it's not they're going to use him like the way we would. But the fact of the matter is, he needs that experience on a Premier League level, because Championship level is great and all, but I think the Premier League level is going to be quite a bit of a different thing for him. So what I want to see in him is, by the end of this season, can he get 10 goals? By the end of this season, can he get 15 goals? Because if he does, I think next year he's giving himself a great shot at being able to come back and actually being given an opportunity. And I do believe we would give him an opportunity as well. But Tammy Abraham needs more time, I think. Abraham needs more time to be in the Premier League and actually face Premier League proven players.
Alex Bat, Posh will give you Jack Marriott for 10 million.
Mate, you're gonna have to tell me who that is in the first place.
Yeah, you have to, you're gonna have to inform us a little bit more on that one, Alex. To be fair, but I mean, when you think about, you mentioned Swansea, obviously Llorente would have been, that Olding job, just to bring the players into play, if you like. But
and Llorente is a different kind of player, in my opinion. His hold-up play is very great, and we can cross the ball a lot to him, and he'd be an aerial threat as well. The thing with Llorente for me has always been his age. As much as I understood why we were interested in him and how he could conveniently fit into our game, our style of play, his age means that we would sign him for 1 year, pay that money, and then next year we need to go find somebody else. And then we need other people, we need solutions right now that are more long-term in some way, shape, or form, or at least we're looking at the next 3 to 5 seasons. And Llorente was not going to be the answer. It'll be interesting to see what he does at Spurs, because I don't think Spurs plays his style. Spurs are not going to be convenient for him. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him.
Big respect to the Rangers guy that's out there. Talking of Spurs, how did they get on tonight? I know, was Liverpool a draw in the end, was it? Just
Liverpool finished 2-2. Man City comfortably won 4-0 away to Feyenoord. And then you have Spurs, who won 3-1 at Wembley.
Wow.
Harry Kane with 2 goals.
Mate. Yeah, good result, mate.
Good result. They've done well for themselves in that match. I didn't expect them to play well against Dortmund, but hey.
No, but like I say, I mean, it's a good start for them, isn't it? For sure, But let's just talk about us anyway. Full time then 6-0, and that of course equals our biggest win in the Champions League. Last time was Maribor 6-0 in 2014, October 2014. Just another little stat for you, buddy. The opposition last night, Qarabag. They had 5 touches throughout the 90 minutes in our area. Just 5 touches on the ball.
It wasn't without trying. They really tried.
No,
I have to give them comment. I have to commend them for this, right? There's not many teams in the Champions League that come to the Champions League and know that they're a small side and still, away from home, still try to play a little bit of football. And they gave it a shot last night. The fact that they had 45% of possession, had 7 shots, and I believe 2 on target, I'm going to give them credit where credit's due. They could have completely sat back, given the ball to us, and tried to defend for their lives. They didn't. And I think, obviously, there's a big difference between the quality of our team and the quality of theirs. But in the end, the right team won. In the end, the right team was more dominant. In the end, I think they can be proud of the fact that, at the very least, they tried. And I think it could have been worse than 6-0. So that, for me, is something positive for their own fans and their own team to take away from the competition and be like, you know what? We know what was going to happen, but we've come here. We've made our country proud. We've made our club proud. We've made our city proud, which is what the fans were saying from Azerbaijan. I think that's definitely worth a round of applause for me, because I totally respect that. Not many Champions League teams do that, and I respect the fact that they did.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the least animated set of supporters for a European away night to ever come to Stamford Bridge. They were quite reserved, weren't they? They didn't really make any noise. There's about 5 or 6 of them, weren't they, in the West Stand, weren't they? Qarabag.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The West Stand, upper West Stand. Yeah.
Yeah, probably got a few tickets together. Probably with the Legia Warsaw fans. Did you see them after the game as well?
My goodness.
But mental, wasn't it? But
absolutely mental.
Really quite quiet for them. I mean, I know they got beat 6-0, but it don't matter, does it? Listen, I remember when Schalke come to the Bridge, and I think we spanked them 3 or 4-0, and they sung for 90 minutes, bounced for 90 minutes, whereas they were really reserved, weren't they? And they only filled up half the away ends, if that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, another little stat for you, buddy. We've actually only lost just the one game in the past 39 home games in the Champions League group stages. Did you know that?
We've only lost one.
Just one, yeah, 39 games, home games.
Am I correct in thinking that it's against Basel as well, the one that we lost?
Yeah, it was the Basel game. Yeah, that was
Oh, mate,
shocking. That
mate,
was
I
the
swear to
worst
God,
game ever. I was
mate, I
so
swear to
gutted
God,
that
I
night.
was sat at home and I've never ever gone so wild. This TV almost broke. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This TV almost broke because that match, I swear to God, I was livid. I could see what this team was gonna try and do to us, and the fact that we let them and then we lost. I was like, I don't mind losing at times, but
No,
who do I lose
I'll
to?
tell
Like,
you.
why do we lose? Like in a game like this when we don't expect to be losing? How dare you do this to us? I was so livid, and I blamed Mourinho for it because
Yeah,
that
well,
was his.
it's funny you should say that. It's so funny, and this is not an anti. I'm not going to knock Mourinho. Oh, you're not Mourinho. It's nothing. Honestly, I want to put this into perspective because this was right at the start of his tenure when it was second time round, first Champions League game, wasn't it? Yeah, and I was so excited. Do you know what I mean? Bars, I was thinking 3 points, no two ways about it. You know, you do, don't you, right? And I remember that first half. We played the first half of that game our own air and our own half. It was sideways.
Hmm,
So, and people were saying, "This is shit." People were actually saying, "This is what's the matter with them?" There's people going, "What's the matter with them?" I said, "No, this is how Jose plays." You
mate.
know, it was. But tactically, everything went wrong that night, didn't it? You know. But yeah, that's the stat, buddy. Just the one game, and you are right. It is Basel, 130, drawn 8. So there you go. Right, you know.
Wow, that's very impressive, definitely.
Okay, right. Well, obviously we know the score. Brilliant, because I just perfect. It was a 0-0 result, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In Rome,
Hmm.
AS Roma 0, Atletico Madrid 0, and we're already 2 points
Paul
clear.
Unwin is in the comments as well.
The Cotley Perlos out there. Hello,
They
Paul. How
won
you
against
doing?
Huddersfield, and Paul Unwin is coming back to life now. He's like, yes, finally 3 points on the board.
Well, we're quite happy with West Ham that night, weren't we? Just to stay third. You know, but well done, mate. Well done, buddy. But 2 points clear already, mate. With that draw, I mean, how important is that with regards to qualification? And you know, is that game on now? As far as you know, the
I
group,
think
does that give us an edge now? Because
I
if we lost that game, not lost the game, had one of those teams won that game, let's say, for example,
mm,
Atletico, which they were kind of close, weren't they, I believe, to
yeah.
winning it. And they did have some chances, but just didn't, I believe, fall to the right man. But had they got 3 points at Roma, all of a sudden, there's an incy tiny bit of pressure. We go then out to Madrid. And let's say Madrid were to win that game, because let's be fair, it could, you know, it's a tough game away at Atletico Madrid. You'd
Mm.
fully expect Roma, wouldn't you, to beat Qarabag,
Oh, of
right?
course,
Okay.
of course.
So then all of a sudden we're on 3, they're on 3, they're on. Do you see where I'm going? So the way it's all worked out, it's great because we can now go with a bit of pressure off, can't we, to Madrid?
Yeah.
Already 2 points in front.
Well, I feel like we've got a very good chance against Atletico Madrid because Atletico Madrid haven't had necessarily the most ideal start to the league campaign. They're also people have to understand Atletico also haven't had a chance to sign decent players, and Atletico isn't as strong as they used to be. And Atletico is dying for players. Atletico isn't as confident as they used to be, and I think we have a great chance to go against Atletico, especially with Antonio Conte's tactics and our players being as hungry as they are. I feel like this is a group for us at top. I genuinely believe we're favorites. It's not about being biased. I think if there's another team that has more stronger sort of squad or is more of a favorite than us, I'm the type of fan to be able to say it and not be fussed by the fact that I can say that. But in this situation, I genuinely believe that Chelsea is actually favorites to top this group, and we can't mess it up. Now, the way to not mess it up is very simple. When you face against Qarabag, score as many goals as you can. Make sure you get a clean sheet. We did that last night. Then you also want some perfect situations to happen, like Roma and Atletico when they face each other, to end up in draws. bam, that's their first match. Their first match between these two teams has now ended in a draw. Another one of that, that's 4 points dropped for each of those teams.
See, DJR FC 1873 makes a really great point there, because it is Atletico's first European game in a new stadium. It does take a little while, doesn't it, to settle in, you know, because let's be fair, their old stadium's really tight and the cauldron of noise, and you know, it's like anything, isn't it? You know, when you move home, it doesn't feel like you're home straight away. It's your home, obviously, but as much as a big occasion for the away teams coming to that new stadium, you know, things like that. So it's a massive point. That is absolutely massive. Also, is it is it
Akshay?
Nigel, not Nigham. He's got a question, but I'm not quite sure what the question was. Did you catch the question there?
And I didn't quite catch the question. And I'm still. Oh, Zappa
or Moses should start against Arsenal. That's a great question.
It's a good question. I'll be honest in saying, because it's Arsenal, and I feel like going confidently going with Moses is probably the best thing to do, because I think Moses is comfortable on the feet. Moses is going to run back and forth, and we can put Zappacosta on at whatever point we want. And I don't think Zappacosta did anything that was, to me, a miracle other than the goal. Obviously, he scored a great goal and he's showing good signs. I don't think he has shown his worth yet for us to be dumping Moses straight to the bench. So for me, Moses, just without question at this moment in time. But as the season progresses, I can definitely see Zappacosta giving him a run for his money in that regard. And there was also one other question, and it was to do with Charlie Musonda. How did you feel about it? How did you feel about it?
Right. Well, look. Okay. I know there's other people out there saying that he was set to start. He should have started, and this, that, and the other. I love Charlie Musonda. Do you know that? I honestly think he's such an exceptional talent. But was it right to throw him in? Do you know what I mean? We made a lot of changes as it was.
Yeah.
Was it right to do that? You know, I think we need goals. We need a good start. Rest certain players, really, key players. Not too many risks. But I expect Charlie Musonda to play against Nottingham Forest in the League Cup, the Qarabag Cup, and all that. And I really do want to see him play. But where does he play? This is the thing. And who does he replace? But what an exceptional talent! Honestly, he's such a player.
I was absolutely gutted. I said it in the blog as well, guys, and I said it in the match preview. And for him not to even be on the bench was definitely, it hurt me a lot. I don't know how he's feeling about it, but it hurt me a lot. This is the one game where I thought, mate, this is the one time he deserves some sort of minutes, and to not even make it to the bench, that for me was just a wound that was a little bit quite deep. And I do wonder what Antonio Conte must have said to him, because I don't expect Charlie Musonda to necessarily have taken that quite easily. He's so excited about wanting to start for Chelsea, and this kid deserves a chance. I know that with Chelsea, we probably say this year in, year out. It's just whichever kid that we want to talk about. But Charlie Musonda has been working so hard, mate.
He's different class. He's absolutely different class, Musonda. It's weird because you could say that in 15 or 16 clubs in the Premier League will probably play him.
Yeah,
and that's how good he is. It's just that
we didn't loan him out. We didn't loan him out, knowing full well that there were clubs that were all interested in him. So for me, any game against the Qarabag and Nottingham Forest, any small game, this kid deserves a chance. This kid, at the very least, needs to be making it to the bench. And last night, for me, that was a tough pill to swallow. And I hope Antonio Conte has a huge and a great reason for it, because that kid deserves a chance. And if we don't give him a chance this season, it will genuinely upset me. Genuinely, I'll be so upset about this one, because Charlie Musonda is someone I have had an eye on for years now, and this is a kid that has so much talent for him, and we have to actually make use of it, because this is a kid that I genuinely feel I feel like he can get to the level of Eden Hazard. Now, this might come as crazy to people.
No, do you know what?
I don't think that's a crazy statement to make. Honestly, the kid he plays like Hazard quite a lot. He doesn't protect the ball like Hazard does, but he has a low sense of he's a lower his sense of gravity is a bit lower. He gets past plays really easily. He's hungry.
Step
He likes to
overs.
take on plays. He's direct. He's everything that you want in a player right now. We need to be giving him a chance right now.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, mate. I couldn't agree more. Well, let's look at some of the players. I want to highlight some players from last night's performance, yeah? And I want to get your take on it. And first and foremost, I was going to go into Willian, but we've all kind of half-benched Willian. You went into one a little bit earlier on, so we'll sidestep him. But this is the one I want to talk to you about, Gary Cahill. Now, obviously, we know he's come back after a 3-match ban.
Yeah.
He's come straight back in. How did you think he did? And do you think he's done enough to force the change, if you like, from our back three that was playing against Leicester City? And furthermore, there was when he got his yellow, I thought, bloody hell, haven't you learned anything there? It was quite reckless, I thought.
Mate, that tackle was
from where I
it was. Mate, we both had the same reaction. We both had the same reaction to it. As soon as it happened, we're like, what the hell are you doing, Kale? I said, back.
I tell you, had he got that wrong, it was a red, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, so I don't know. How'd you feel he done, mate?
I think he done okay. I don't think he's done enough to warrant replacing Rudiger in that back. And for me, I wouldn't start him against Arsenal, because I think when it comes to being comfortable on the ball and when it comes to being able to lead a defense properly and distribute the ball properly, I think Rudiger's got that on him. And Rudiger is way less prone to errors than Cahill is. And at the moment, Cahill is someone that I feel is a little bit reckless. It's funny because I think when you look towards a captain traditionally, a captain is someone with discipline. A captain is someone who leads by example. Gary Cahill doesn't, for me, I wouldn't say that it seems like a big criticism to have against someone right now, but I generally feel like when it comes to leading the team and having discipline, those are two areas that I feel like he's been quite lacking in. And he has been error-prone over the years. And do I see Antonio Conte going with him? And possibly, because obviously he's the captain. But I don't want him to. I generally feel like this is a player that sometimes can always end up in situations and end up basically he just can end up putting us in some really bad situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Christensen, talk to me about him. I mean, he's so self-assured, isn't he? He just doesn't seem to let you down, does he? He's just such a confident lad.
Yeah.
Quick recovery, good engine.
I feel like I saw a stat, Tony, that basically said he had a 93% pass completion rate in this match last night, which I'm like, for someone who's just replaced David Luiz right there in that match, what a way to make a statement. It's an understated performance, because I think people always will look towards players that score or assist or do something amazing, right? But people have to understand, players like Christensen, who play in that sweeper role there, they are so understated. And I think last year, that's why David Luiz, at first, he was a revelation. And then after that, they didn't speak about him as much. But people don't understand the importance of having these types of players that can calm play down, players that can distribute, players that can lead that defense. And I generally feel like I forget his age sometimes. He looks that experienced, that calm, and that just he fits into the team that well that he doesn't put a foot wrong. And it's a play that excites me a lot. And that's why even in the match against Leicester or against Everton, I was expecting him to be getting the minutes. And unfortunately, he didn't. But this is where I feel this is a player that Antonio Conte is probably to put a lot of his trust in. And we're going to see many games from him this year. He's going to play a big role this year. And I can see him definitely replacing David Luiz at some point as well. So this is a very good indication for a player. And I hope he continues in this direction. But I also hope we give him the minutes that he deserves too.
Chikayo's got a problem, hasn't he, really?
He does. Because that's two players that are, I think, definitely breathing down his neck. Because they're not going to take out David Luiz or Azpilicueta. they're coming for Cahill. That's who they're coming for.
It's free for one spot, isn't it? It's free players for one position.
Mm.
You know, you look at it like that. Okay, now I want to speak obviously about Zappacosta. Now, I mean, what a home debut. Victor, has he got anything to worry about?
Moses, and at the moment, not really. At the moment, I wouldn't say so. And Moses, I feel like at the moment has been doing quite well as a player. Moses at the moment as well has been really good at just being able to actually just get the work done that he needs, that he's being asked of. And Tony Conte has put a lot of trust in him. He's a player that doesn't make many statements. He's not a player that you hear talk in the media or anything like that. He's a player that I think just gets on with his work. He does his talking on the pitch, and I think that's the best place, and that's the best place he can do that. And for that reason, he's not someone that I would be that worried about at the moment. But I do think Zappacosta does offer two things that Moses can't. Zappacosta offers crosses. Zappacosta also offers height. These are two things that at the moment Moses doesn't offer. And if Moses has anything to worry about, it's in those two areas. Games where we need players like that, I can see him being favored by Zappacosta. Games where where we like to keep the ball on the floor and it's all about going really fast and being direct, I can see Victor Moses definitely getting one over it. So as long as that happens, then that's fantastic, I think. But it's what I said earlier on as well. We have two players right now that give us different types of options on that side. And it's a side that we've been complaining about. And at one point, we had no player actually that was suitable to playing in that side. So it's great to be able to say now we have two options that will give us two different types of end products.
But he knows the system very well. He's worked with Antonio Conte on the Italian national side.
Yeah.
And quite clearly, he likes to have a shot, a goal. He's a very confident lad. And for someone that plays in that position, he likes to. One of the things I noticed, he loves to get further up the pitch, didn't he? He starts edging. Yeah. We were on his side at one point, weren't we? So the whole emphasis was on him as a player, and you could see that he was always looking to go, wasn't he? You know.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, is he another Marcus Alonso? I mean, the reason why I say that is when we bought Marcus Alonso, it was like Marcus who, wasn't it? And people were like, well, you know, it didn't cost a lot, you know, all right, his background, he played for, you know, Bolton Sun, all that sort of stuff. And it was very, very, you know, we'd almost had an opinion on Marcus Alonso before he put on a Chelsea shirt, didn't we? And he made that position his own throughout the course of the season. And now we wouldn't have it any other way. I look at Marcus Alonso now and I go, mate, you're in the side all day long. You know, he's I
feel like Zappacosta, I would say that's a fair statement to make at the moment, because I think defensively, I feel like Zappacosta definitely offers more than Moses does. I think going forward, he offers different types of attacking threat than Moses does. Now, the only thing is, if given enough gameplay time, can Zappacosta take advantage of the situation? I feel like he can. And this season, I think it's better than last season, because when you think about it, we have far more games. We have far more competitions to be playing in. So can Zappacosta maybe get Moses' place in the team at some point? That could possibly happen. But again, that depends on how our squad actually develops in terms of this formation and style that we're playing. And people can't forget as well that this new formation that Tony Conte has been playing recently against Spurs and against Leicester, this formation of having three centre midfielders in the middle, and then having one attacking, one number 10 supporting and Alvaro Morata. This one, I think that will have a big indication on where we're going next with the wing backs, because that will let us know what type of wing backs we actually need in a match. Because at the moment, I think that's the biggest difference, is the fact that and Tony Conte is definitely trying something slightly different. And I'm glad he is, because we never had a plan B last year. Finally, we can say now we have a plan B for certain matches. And we also use that plan B as a plan A at other times too.
It's because we've got different players now that can play in different positions. So tactically, we can shift the formation around and change 2-3 times during the course of a game, depending on how the opposition set up, which is great, you know. And the players to do that, play all those systems. That's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. So it's a great start then, mate. You know, match day 1, you can only beat what's in front of you, and 6-0 victory at home, no goals conceded. Great. And we topped the group with 2 points. Couldn't go any better. Players have had the ones that we wanted to have had a little run out, and we've rested accordingly for the upcoming game at the weekend. So marks out of 10, mate, on the overall Chelsea performance. What would you
I'm
say?
good. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna say 8. I think this was probably our best performance in terms of how many goals we've got. Obviously, it's an easy side. I think we could have scored far more goals. We created quite a lot of chances. So 8 out of 10, I think, is a fair result.
Mm. Do you know we've got 6 goals, but we only had 8 shots. Great return.
What, 8 shots on target, right?
Yeah, 8 shots on target, but 6 went in.
I guess that's definitely a big return.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to give it a 7, and not to be disrespectful, just because of the opposition we're playing against. And I didn't think we were particularly great in the first half. Second half, I felt as the game wore on, they become a little bit leggy, and gaps and the physicality of our players was really taking over, and we started to get going a lot more.
Yeah.
Our rewards and our goals, and you know, like I said, it could have been very easily 7, 8. And I do think they will get pinged, you know, especially, you know, if you can see Atletico playing a full team and just take them apart, like, you know. But there you
It'll
go.
be very interesting to see what Arsenal does in the Europa League and tomorrow night, and because that will give us a bit of an
Absolutely,
understanding
yeah.
as to what type of team we can expect against them on Sunday.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting. Just a little question that Cockney Perlo out there, that's obviously Paul, isn't it? Paul Longman. He said, look, if Chelsea top the group and could we play Spurs in the next? No, it's an English club, mate, you know. It's the round after, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess he wouldn't know the format being a West Ham fan.
Oh my God.
Like you say. Just to let you know, mate. Anyway, other results then in the Champions League last night. Obviously, Celtic, their heaviest defeat, wasn't it? At home, absolutely taken apart, smashed by Paris, and they look the real deal, don't they? I mean, we all know where they've strengthened.
Yeah.
You have to be on planet Mars or whatever if you didn't know anything about that. But you know, I think they'll be in and around that sort of knocking that 4, 6, depending on who they draw. They probably get Barca, they always do, don't they? But and of course, they very much reminds as a football club of how we were sort of 4 or 5 years ago, where it was almost destiny. We had to land that Champions League, didn't we? You know, it was almost like it's eluded us for so many years. We've got so close, and it's a bit like that for them, isn't it? It's like they've got to land it, and they're obviously spending big dough, and you know, they look the real deal. It's no easy place. I mean, despite what, you know, Scottish football and all that, it's not an easy place. You can't just rock up at Selby Park, can you?
Yeah.
Paradise, what they call it. You know, but absolutely smashed. And of course, Manchester United.
Pogba injured. That was a thing I found out last time when I got home as well.
How long's he out for him, mate?
And not sure, but he's pulled a hamstring from what we've heard, but I don't really know how long he's out for just yet.
And I see Jose's had another dig at us, hasn't he? About our style of play again, and you know,
let him.
Can't sort of leave it alone, can he? Really? Do you know what I mean? And of course, Barcelona. I think inflicting
a 3-0
Juventus.
defeat.
Yeah, their heaviest defeat. Am I right in saying that? The Champions League is crazy, isn't it?
I think that probably is for the group stage.
The group stage, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it. You know, like I say, it's a fantastic start. And what we could do, guys, is have a few questions if you want to whack some out there. We'll have a few questions for 5-10 minutes, shall we? And while we're waiting, I'll just let you know, guys, what's coming your way on Chelsea SW6. Obviously, you may have seen there's already a vlog that's gone up, and from last night that went up about an hour before the stream, didn't it?
An hour and a half before the stream, yeah.
Stream. So you know, if you like that, guys, give it the old thumbs up. And there'll be a pre-match video, similar style to what we've been doing. Yeah, it's obviously there on Mo for the Arsenal game, and that'll be going up probably Friday evening. Would I be right in saying that, mate?
Yes.
Friday evening, yeah, because we've got to kind of work it around our jobs and all that. Now, for those of you out there, guys, on Saturday evening, I suppose it's a little bonus. Me and Mo have been invited to go on the Gooner Talk. So it'll be fun. So we're going on the Arsenal channel, and we're going out. What time did they say? Was it 9?
9 p.m.
9 p.m. So check that one out, guys. Gooner Talk. We're going out. Chelsea SW6 will be guests on the Gooner Talk, and I believe Ken's one of their guests. So that'll be something to look forward to. So as I say, guys, the vlog's up now. The pre-match video will go out Friday evening, about that sort of time. Saturday night at 9 o'clock, we're going out live on the Gooner Talk. And of course, Sunday, the day of the game, there'll be all sorts of videos going out. And there'll be a few videos, obviously, with the Arsenal boys, no doubt. Claude will be showing his face, and Kenny and Afsal and all of them, basically. And then on the Monday, on the would it be Sunday or the Monday? There'll be the vlog.
The vlog will be vlog. The vlog will be on Monday.
Yep.
And then also the stream will be on the Monday too.
Absolutely. And then of course we're doing, as Mike quite rightly says, we'll have the stream and we'll have the Arsenal boys on for that, and that should be fun. Any questions then? We'll go have a little 5-minute questions.
Yep, we've got one here from Samuel. Win the Champions League again, or retain the Premier League? Whoo!
All day long, Champions League.
Oh, mate, yeah. I would hate. Okay, as long as Man United don't win the Premier League, then I'm okay with the Champions League. I would hate for Mourinho to win it, mate. I don't want Mourinho to win it. And
right, do you know, for those of you out, I mean, you know, obviously we Chelsea SW6 on YouTube, but we've got the SW6 Facebook, and I think it's about 4 weeks ago, wasn't it? I run a poll, who the Chelsea fans hate the most, and we all kind of half expected Tottenham to be number one, and of course they were. It's really, really interesting. Is because I thought Liverpool would be second, or at least run Tottenham very close first. With most people, it's either or, isn't it? It's a hate Tottenham, hate Liverpool, blah blah blah. Man United was so close. There was only 1% in it, and I'm sure that's got perhaps something to do with the United, maybe the Mourinho factor. I don't know.
Probably, probably, because
it was really interesting, because it weren't like, you know, one man and his dog doing them. It was quite a lot of people that. You know,
there's not much hate I have towards Man United. It's Mourinho. For me, it's Mourinho at the moment. Mourinho just keeps having these dicks, and it's this team that everyone's thinking, yeah, they're going to do amazing and blah, blah, blah. So for me, it's like, okay, you're a Mourinho team right now. I don't really like you. And so, yeah, I don't like Man United as a result right now. So, bam, they go hand in hand. But Spurs, for me, is definitely up in there. And Arsenal as well, for me. I've not really been a fan of Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal, over the years, I've lost so much respect for them that it's now turned into a little bit of hate.
I can't honestly say I hate Arsenal. I don't think I really hate them. But
second one, which English side do we see reaching the furthest in the Champions League?
We didn't actually answer, Samuel, did we?
We said Champions League.
Well, I know I never did.
You said Champions League.
I said Champions League. Oh, did you say?
Yeah,
you said Champions League. Okay, sorry.
And who do you think will reach the furthest in the Champions League of the English teams? And that's a question by Draza. Let's call him Draza.
It's hard, isn't it? Because you don't know who's going to get drawn against who. Let's be honest.
It depends. I don't think it'll be Liverpool. And in my opinion, I can see there's 2 teams I see that can reach the furthest. Well, 3 teams.
United, City, Chelsea.
United, Chelsea, and City. But I don't know why, but this year I have this confidence that Chelsea will reach the furthest. I have this confidence that we'll do really well in the Champions League this year. I feel
Yeah,
like
you're right,
Antonio
mate.
Conte's first season in the Champions League with us as well. I don't know. Something tells me we will take this competition so seriously this year. And I feel I can see us put up a very, very good fight.
Daniel Seldrake's got a question there. It's brilliant. Do you think FFP exists? And if
Oh,
they are
God.
doing this so-called action, do you think it should be implemented? Well, if it exists and it's supposed to be implemented, then yes. But I do wonder, don't you?
And
And I do think. Sorry, just to pick up on. And it's funny, Kenny Kempton, Gooner, like he says that he felt that that was always put in place by Michel Platini, to stop the English clubs, and it was all to do with the 2008-9 possibility of the back-to-back sort of Man United Chelsea Champions League finals, which we were denied by a certain Mr. Anders Frisk. But he felt there was a conscientious effort to kind of stranglehold the Premier League clubs, or at least stop the dominance of English clubs, because we were dominant at the time. Liverpool were in 2 finals, United were in 2, we were in 2, and it was over this period of time where it was all English clubs, wasn't it?
yeah. And
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happens in it, but I don't think financial fair play really exists. I feel like it's a term now that we use at best, but I've yet to see clubs be heavily banned on something for spending too much. And we're seeing these little temporary bans that are windows and stuff, and clubs are going back to exactly the same activities afterwards. So to me, it doesn't feel like it exists at the moment. And then when you have stateside, like when you have like Man City and PSG being backed up by whole countries, and where they can get the sponsors of those countries, there's so many different companies. They can just be like, yeah, you sponsor this, and we'll give you this, and we'll do that, and they can work everything around to their favor. And if financial fair play does exist, which I doubt, I think it's pretty much collapsed at this point, because the
no, but
PSG
there's
just
right. I think PSG did, and then hey ho, look at Michel Platini's support of the club, and obviously, when you've got a country involved in running a football club, it's game over, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you got to also look at the Kuwait, the Qatari World Cup, award, and who was behind that. And Platini voted for that, didn't he? And it's all corrupt, really, isn't it, Joe? But with the financial fair play, there's all sorts of ways, around it. I read somewhere that, for example, take the Neymar transfer. Let's say you got a player and it's outrageous, 200 million. And let's say it's a 5-year deal. Well, what they would do is they would split that 200 million into 5 years, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So straight away, it's only 40 million you're spending.
So it's a way. There's loopholes in this stuff. That's the thing with it. And
that,
until they fix these loopholes, I don't feel like it's going to go anywhere. I feel like it's just something. It's a term that's going to be used, but it doesn't really have a big effect on what clubs are actually doing, in my opinion. Especially the clubs like Man City and PSG and so on and so forth. And obviously Barcelona and Man United and Real Madrid, I think, because they're such global brands, they can offset any sort of spending that they do. So those are clubs that I feel like financial fair play wasn't made with them in mind. It's been made with clubs that are obviously smaller or clubs that are on their way up. But when you have people that are spending as crazy as they are with different loopholes and all kinds of stuff, it kind of defeats the purpose of it even existing in the first place, in my opinion. But hopefully they do something about it. And if not, and it's just a term that will be here and there, they're just going to push it apart, but that's about it. But yeah, that's the answer to that question for us. And we've got Akshay Nigam, who's now asked another question. He said, should we sign a centre forward in January? That all very much depends on if Costa goes. And I know the rumor was today that we have made a breakthrough with Costa situation with Atletico Madrid, but we've been hearing that now for weeks. I don't believe it until I see something official announced. And so, but yeah, it depends on if Costa leaves. If Costa leaves, I can see us definitely going in and getting someone. Who will get, I have no idea.
Well, I think it's fair to say we was always in for another striker, weren't we? So
yeah,
Why not? If the right player comes along. But you know what it's like, that particular window is a bit of a wind-up, isn't it? It's almost a nothing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm right in saying last year, that particular window kind of went, there was nothing happening, was it? No one was biting or getting involved. Or
It's because the players are far more expensive in the January transfer market as well, because clubs don't want to let them go. It's during the mid-season. Players are unlikely to want to move themselves during that. It's in the olden days, you always had those deadline days that happen in January transfer windows, but it was such a rare thing. Like it happened so rarely then, and now it's even become more of a rarity. Players just don't get signed in January much, and if anyone does, it's the smaller clubs.
absolutely, absolutely. Any more questions?
And I think that's about it, mate. Yep, that's about it. I
Fair
can't
enough,
find
no
any
problem
more.
at all. I think Arsenal will sell in January. Well, fair
Oof.
enough.
Sanchez,
Hmm.
that's the only one. But again, that depends. They're already in January. I'm like, why send him then? You've already made the biggest loss on him. Make the full loss.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, right. So, as I say, guys, look out for all the stuff that's coming your way during the course of this week. I'm just trying to, do you know what? Just to turn off this stream, Mo.
Mhm.
You might laugh at this one, right? But my mouse, right? I think I'm going to have to buy a new laptop, mate. My mouse won't move. Have you got the stop broadcast button?
I definitely don't.
Oh, wow. We might be live for the next 5 hours then, guys, because I can't get my mouse to move to go on to the bit where you stop it. It's mental, isn't it? You know? Seriously, mate, it's not even moving. It's like dead. I suppose I have to turn it off at the mains.
If that would turn it off, that is because imagine if I'm still on and that it's still live.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I can't seem to
The never-ending live
just
stream. I
doesn't.
know. What are we meant to do here? Tony can't get it off.
Well, I don't know, guys. I can't. You know, what can you say?
Belotti's an expensive signing, and
Keep asking the questions. I'll work on it.
yeah. Actually, Belotti's an expensive signing, mate. Honestly speaking, and I don't think Chelsea's board are prepared to pay that kind of sum for a player right now, especially if he's not first team. And we've just paid that much for Morata, so Belotti's it's a good dream to have, but I don't think it's happening.
Right, I've got it on the.
Hey,
we're all there, guys.
We're all there.
Any last question? Let's have a last question. The never-ending live stream. That's right.
Costa
Ozil hasn't signed.
Belotti.
That's right. Well, Arsenal a little bit of prop. You know, let's have it right. There's a. What do you think, guys out there? Do you think we're going to win on Sunday against Arsenal?
I wonder.
Do you think we're going to?
Of course, they're going to think we're going to win.
Well, let's be honest, right? We owe them, don't we, for the last couple of games at Wembley? Let's, you know.
Mate, we have to beat them. There's no ifs or buts. We've got to beat them.
We'll go 6 clear of them, won't we? If we you know. Will Hazard sign a new contract?
Oh, mate, I hope so. Mate, I hope so, because that's the one that makes me the most nervous. You people have no idea how nervous I am about that. I've been hearing it for over a year now that Hazard's close to signing a contract, or there's contract talks happening, and there's nothing happening. But this summer, he made it absolutely clear that there's no talks happening right now, which means Chelsea need to get a flipping pipe on, and they need to flip him and get him to sign a new contract so that we don't lose Eden Hazard.
And he's happy. He's really, really happy. And he said, well, why would I want to leave? I'm one of the biggest clubs in the world right now, and I've got just as much chance of winning trophies here.
So
no,
PSG is not going to want Hazard. PSG is not going to want Hazard. They're done. They're sorted now. They're not going to want him.
Daniel Geist is right there. Thibaut. That's another one, isn't it? You know.
Oh, yeah, and Courtois. Flipping hell. I forgot about that one.
Absolutely. Okay, then, guys. I wanted to say thanks to you guys out there for watching. Thank you really, really so much. If you like all the stuff we're putting out, just give it the old thumbs up, the likes, etc. And if you can share our content out there, we're most grateful for that, because we're starting to, you know, we're starting to get ourselves out there now, aren't we? You know, and we're really, really trying hard, you know, with the quality and all that. I want to say thank you to yourself tonight, Mo. Thank you for tonight.
Always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for having me, Tony.
And I want to also put a big message out there. Get well soon to Paul Cannaville, because you know he's not been very well, and massive. Well, he's just such a legend, Paul, and part of Chelsea SW6. So you know, just really wish you well there, mate. And as I say, thanks to you guys out there for watching. Keep the blue flag flying.